Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura Kay. This is Luna Lifts You. Welcome to this safe space. I do believe that if you found yourself here today, there is no such thing as coincidence, only divine incidents. So there is a reason that you are here today. If you've been here with me for a while, thank you guys so much for coming back. I really love and appreciate you guys. Y'all have been leaving some really awesome comments lately. It's been really nice. Let's go ahead and get into it. So today is the 29th of March. It is the solar eclipse. We had recently had a lunar eclipse a while. We're in that in-between phase, and they say that this is like a birth canal moment, and that it's a really beautiful time. I wanted to pull an oracle card, maybe two, we'll see, just from my Sacred Rebels oracle deck. Mine, the one that I own, but not my deck that I created. This is by Alana Fairchild. It is a really nice deck. One of my favorites currently. So I'm going to pull a couple cards. We're just going to see what your eclipse message is today. So I really appreciate you. If you are just now finding me here, then I'm super excited that you are including me on your journey. We co-create this space together. I have not gotten any of these cards before. This is pretty cool. Okay. All right. So, wow, these are beautiful. All right, I gotta show them to you now. You're like, show me. The first card we get, okay, 4s and 2s and 1s, because this first card is 4, the next one has 44, and then the next one is 12. So, against the grain, that's where you're headed, babe. That's where you're headed, against the grain. And you know what? It's got all these birds above her, and it looks like she's swimming towards the sky, like she's swimming up to the surface, like she sees some birds up there in the sky. But the card is very green, and it feels like heart energy. It feels like following your heart is kind of going against the grain, and it almost looks like these birds are like in the water. Like, it doesn't look like a separation between the water and like surface. It looks like she's like following birds that are in the water, which also says something about like, it says this card feels very like Piscean, like very dreamy. Yeah, very dreamy, like Neptune, watery vibes. It feels daydreamy, but it feels like there's no distinction between the surface and like the actual sky, and it feels like she's kind of swimming in the sky. And I do like to say that one quote about like, everything is spirit, like this whole world is spiritual. It's like really silly when people call like certain people spiritual people. I get it, because they're saying like somebody like is more interested in those things and talks about those things, but like everybody is a spiritual person. It's like really silly to me when I'm like, oh, so we are fish in water, and that water is spirit. Spirit is around us constantly. Like, there is no separation between God or like the divine or like any of that. And it's those of us who like don't see things like that, who like don't see a difference, because like it's just not in our perspective. But this card like feels like a really big embodiment of that. Like, this is my first time ever seeing this card in this deck, actually. And that's my immediate thought, is like, this is somebody who, going against the grain, you are a very spiritual person, and you're probably like connect to things on a spiritual like aspect that other people don't. Like, you might be one of those people who's like had encounters with like strangers who like are spiritual beings in a human body. If you've ever experienced that, you know what it's like when like you're meeting like an angel, but it's actually a person. It's like a strange encounter with a stranger. If you haven't, then you might be experiencing this very soon. This might be a little foreshadowing. Shatter? What? Shatter. Ooh, shatter too. I don't know why, but like now, like the water ripples like look like shatter, like shattering of illusions, which this might be like a shattering of, you might are now consciously realizing that an experience that you had may have been with a spiritual being and not actually like a person. Of course, like it's person, but we can have these encounters with strangers where they're like literally just a guide for you, like to send you on another place. And if that resonates with you, I get that that's probably only going to resonate with a couple of people watching this. You may have experiences like that, or you have just like extremely like synchronistic experiences, like you are like living in a daydream sometimes, and other people might think of you as like delulu if you express what you're seeing, but like you're actually like just very in tune with spirit and with your connection. And you probably know all this already, but now we've got a card that says visions of life beyond death. Very much like reincarnation vibes. I love the peacock and the owl, and I think it's a crow or a grackle, and all the birds. Very much. Oh, this card is beautiful. I kind of want to read this one, but first I'm going to show you the third card that I got, which says every journey starts with a single step. There's all these butterflies flying around her little suitcase, and I also like, it feels like this energy too is like slightly green. It's like her heart energy radiating out. And I was talking earlier about like that green water being heart energy, and it really feels like as you listen to like the illogical, not always like very logical calls of the heart, they don't always make sense to our logical mind, though like from heart mind they may be logical. And languages other than English, they actually speak of the heart as having its own intelligence, of like having its own mind separate from the mind of the head, and that is our intuition. And it's important to listen to that intuition and to follow the heart, and to remember that even in the times in the past when you weren't fully listening to your intuition, you still heard it. Focus on those moments where you did hear your intuition, even if you didn't listen to it. Maybe tell yourself sorry for those moments, but now you know in the future that you always get those insights and you need to listen to them next time. And the more and more that you practice recalling in the past your intuition, the more that it gets louder in the present again. And you can do things to train your intuition better, and that's by listening to it and trusting it. And you know, and so that's really important for somebody. But following that intuition, there may be days where you decide to do something completely random that you don't usually do, but it's like I get this calling, and like that calling is guiding you on a path, and you may meet some strangers. I was talking about like a person, like a spirit, like a guide or something, but maybe you meet like somebody who's going to be a huge network connection, who's going to, you know, open up so many possibilities for you. And this woman, she's walking with an open heart in the world. And as you're able to do that more, she's got this magnetism. It's that toroidal field, the magnetic field of the heart is going to bring things. And look at this wisping, like going into the suitcase. Like it's going to bring everything that you need. It's like wrapping around her. It's glowing. Like everything that you could need literally comes from just opening yourself up. And so now we're going to read that middle card, Visions of Life Beyond Death, because it feels like this is a big message for us. If I can figure out where I put the book. Oh. I dropped like all the cards in my lap. Okay. This is 44. Excuse me. That yawn could be a release. It could be a sign of throat chakra. And as I'm saying that, I'm looking at the peacock, and the peacock has the DNA swirl going up. Let me see if I can. The DNA swirl like going up its neck, which also sounds like heart chakra. I mean, sorry, that's the throat. Throat chakra opening, and I'm getting that like throat chakra healing. That's probably a sign that throat chakra healing is happening within you right now. That's been a big theme in my life and those around me, which means that you're stepping into your authenticity and you're living in your truth, which is also following that heart, going against the grain kind of vibes, you know. And good for you. Really though, because we need more of that. Did you know that the most like depleted energy that we deplete ourselves of is our own authenticity? Authenticity is very strong, and it is very important for those of us on our path that we're on to do what we got to do. Don't listen to what society tells you to do, bro. You do you. Okay. 44. Visions of life beyond death. Sacred vision is awakening within you. You're becoming blessed with the ability to truly see, to see what is real rather than what appears to be. This is true insight. What was once considered consequential may soon be found to hold little consequence after all. What is once dismissed as an irrational or irrelevance may be seen to have great spiritual significance. As mundane as something once appeared, it could now be worthy of absolute attention. The gift of genuine vision takes you into the being of the universal creator. This is sacred terrain beyond logic convention, and that which is limited in any way. The more you open you are to receive true vision, the more love you will feel and recognize within and around you. And as it's saying that, like, look at her recognizing the love within and seeing it around her lighting up. Isn't that beautiful? And these are different cards. I'm reading this one, right? But like the vision of it, the wording just was exactly what the other card showed. And so this is you. It's me too. Okay. I'm getting really excited because I've been feeling it lately. Sorry, let me find it. This is sacred terrain beyond logic convention that is limited in any way. The more you open up, you are to receiving true vision, the more love you will feel and recognize within and around you. Something may appear to change form, to be shed, to be lost, or to die, but there is love within it always. This realization doesn't remove the pain of a loss. It does provide a way through which it can be healed and eventually transform into peace. The vision of love and the truth of all that is can move us more than anything else possibly can. If you have been wondering about your life path or whether you should take action on a project or need inspiration to move out of a slump that you have fallen into, then this oracle brings you the message of hope. You will receive your vision. You will be graced with a way out of the stagnancy. You will be able to see things very differently and more accurately. Any confusion or uncertainty you have felt is going to pass, and you will be left with clear insight. The stories you have been feeding yourself or telling yourself may end up looking different to how they appear right now. This may surprise you, but the vision that is coming to you will be more truthful and therefore freeing. And it will be worth the shock, surprise, or the moment of embarrassment when you realize that you've been operating under a false assurance or deluding yourself about the truth of a situation. Those moments will pass, and they are not something to feel bad about. They signify that you're leaving behind a smaller view for a more expansive one. I was just on a trip with my friend this weekend, and I went to Austin, and we were looking over at like the city line, and I told her that weekend it was like our weekend away from home. I was with my roommate, and it was our first time away from home in a while, and we were looking over at the city line, standing on like the top of Mount Benel, like on the top of the city, and we were looking out, and she was just like, oh my gosh, Texas is so beautiful. Like, and I told her like this weekend what we're doing right now, because she said she hadn't like seen a view like that in a long time, and I was saying this weekend is symbolic of how we're expanding our vision right now, and like the fact that we're like standing up here on this mountain, like looking out at the city, and we're spending the day like exploring it from all sides. We are expanding in an energetic spiritual way far beyond like we've been like in the same house for like, months, and so it was like a big thing for us, and this is just bringing me back to that. Anyway, I'll get back to the end of this card, but I wanted to share that. So this is a sign that you have outgrown your old vision in order to live into a bigger one. This is very good. There might be a moment when your ego feels a bit dented, but sure enough, this too will pass. There's always those moments during growth where there's like painful moments, and there's having to let go of things, and there's moments of being triggered before healing pain, and then you heal, and then you experience trigger again. Like, there's always going to be pain with the growth, and I think it's important to remember that even like the painful moments that you're going through are also part of the medicine, and feeling is important. It's important to sit in that sometimes. It says this oracle comes with a guidance for you that you're being watched over by life and held in protection. Whatever's been bothering you will not be able to harm you. You will prevail. And if you are concerned that someone is getting in the way of something or blocking your path, or it seems that there is nothing you can do about it, do not worry. The all-seeing eye of life perceives everything without exception. It is the universal mother with eyes not only on the back of her head, but in every living cell of life. She misses nothing, and the truth of her vision will always be met with justice, mercy, and wisdom. This oracle is also asking you to shift your perspective and look at an issue of concern a little bit differently. If you don't know how to do this, simply add the following statement to the end. Okay. So in shifting how you look at things, the energy in what is beheld changes. You can see this with people. When you shame and judge someone, they react differently than when they're loved or encouraged. I'm gonna go ahead. It keeps going, but that one's a really long one. I knew that was going to be the important one, though, and I really enjoyed that because I think it was really necessary. Something that I'm feeling really called to shine some light on right now at the end of that, a conversation that I was just having with somebody. If you've ever noticed this in your life, if you have ever cast judgment upon another, which we all have at some point, nobody is above any of that. We've all done it. But we can grow past it and learn to not do it any longer. But everybody has at some point. But have you noticed how anytime you've held judgment about another person, that the universe conveniently ends up making you follow a similar path to where you kind of embody the things that you once judged, to where you're kind of almost forced to have grace for the other people that you had judged because you become that. And if you've ever experienced this, which you probably have, I would love to hear more in the comments if you want to share your experience with this. I know that's a vulnerable share, but I would really, really love for you to open up with us, and I'll tell you one of mine. But when I was young, my mother passed away when I was 18, and growing up, she was an alcoholic, and I had to, my whole family, all my siblings, we had to deal with a lot growing up. And when she first passed, I was very resentful and upset about a lot of things, and I was very judgy about it. And I was like, I would never, get that bad like her. And then I experienced my own experience of falling into alcoholism, doing many things that I told myself I would never do that. I saw myself do those very same things to where I had to realize, hey, she was struggling with all these things and so was I. And like, I can have, like, I have to forgive myself. That means I have to forgive her, and I want to forgive everybody. That's what we're supposed to do. It helps you relieve the stress and the energy from it. Or there was a time in my life where I'm a queer open person, and I was dating a woman, and I did not want to be open with her, and I did not want to share what we were going through. I was a little baby gay, and I did not want to people around me to know. I grew up in Texas, man. I didn't want people around me to like find out. I was embarrassed, and I was holding on to internalized homophobia that was not mine. And I didn't realize it until a few years later. I was acting in a movie, and I made a really like homophobic, my character, not me, but the character made a very homophobic comment. And as soon as I said that, I flashed back to this relationship with this girl where I was like mad that she didn't want to like continue, but I wasn't being a loving partner and like providing like a safe space, because the space was riddled with fear, and it was really sad. And so I understand, like, yeah, get away, that was toxic, of course. And now I can look at that and I can reflect, and I can see how I was not being very healthy in that way. And there's times where I look at other people and I've thought that they were the unhealthy ones, but it's a consciousness. It's not the person at their core. And it's being able to see through that and understand that we all fall into certain ways of thinking and stuff. And really the best I can do is lead by example and be understanding and loving, and know that people can change. And as soon as they shed things off their heart, I'm thinking like, as you shed things off your heart, like one more beam starts shining and shining and shining. And when we allow ourselves to not place judgment on people, it makes it easier for them to not be blocked and be able to like shine, and all be open to inviting each other to shine. Wow, that got really personal, and I really appreciate you guys listening to me, because I don't get that personal on my channel, and it's probably the most personal I've gotten in a video. This is a really beautiful oracle spread, and it really spoke volumes, and I'm super excited for you to start taking those steps. You have been taking those steps though, like you really have. And you're making the world a brighter place with where you're going. You may be a light worker too, a grid worker is what I was thinking. This kind of like makes me think of grid too. You could, the travel, the bag, you could be guided to travel places, and wherever your intuition is guiding you, know that you're meant to travel, whether it be even through the phone, through connecting to people through social media, or like whatever, like your voice is meant to travel. You're meant to carry energy long distances, because you have a lot of beautiful love to share with the world. I thank you so much for listening to this video. If you made it all the way through, we're like 25 minutes in, you guys. That's wild. Thank you so much for sticking around, for listening, and for doing the beautiful work that you're doing to open your heart up, because that takes so much strength and courage, and it's just beautiful to be doing this kind of work together. So thank you so much for being here, for co-creating this channel with me. If you would like to leave a comment, like, and subscribe, let me know how this is resonating in your life. I would love to talk with you down there. Thank you guys so much for being here. Much love and many blessings. I will talk to you again very soon. Bye.